Have you ever stopped to think about what it truly means to live a life full of vitality and purpose, even as you move into your 60s, 70s, or 80s? Envision yourself waking up each morning with the strength to embrace the day, your mind still sharp and engaged, surrounded by meaningful relationships, and carrying a deep sense of fulfillment in all you do. Imagine a life where aging doesn't slow you down, but instead opens up new possibilities for joy and connection. In this video, we're going to share 8 powerful habits that can help you achieve just that: a life where health, mental clarity, and emotional well-being continue to thrive with every passing year. As we explore these habits, you'll discover actionable steps that will not only nurture your physical and mental health, but also strengthen the social bonds that add richness and depth to your life. By the end of this journey, you'll have a clearer understanding of how to cultivate a long, vibrant life and why starting today is the key to unlocking a future filled with energy, resilience, and joy. These insights hold the potential to change your perspective on aging and could transform your approach to each new day. Before we dive in, we'd love it if you could take a moment to like this video. Your support helps us continue bringing these essential lessons on how to live and age with grace and strength. And if you're not already subscribed, now is the perfect time to join our community. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you'll always be the first to know when we release new, life-enhancing content. Number 1, physical health. How often do we stop and think about what it truly means to maintain our independence as we grow older? We've all seen examples of people who age gracefully, retaining their strength, their mobility, and their ability to manage their daily routines with minimal assistance. But how do they do it? How do they keep their bodies and minds sharp enough to enjoy the freedom that comes with self-sufficiency? Let's take a moment to explore how staying independent in later life is not just about physical well-being, but also about our mental, emotional, and social health. Maintaining your independence as you age reflects more than just the ability to perform tasks on your own. It mirrors your commitment to self-sufficiency and personal well-being. When we manage daily tasks like bathing, dressing, cooking, and cleaning without relying on others, we reinforce our sense of control over our lives. Think about the last time you accomplished something, even a small task, without help. Didn't it give you a sense of pride, a boost of confidence? That's exactly what happens when we stay in control of our day-to-day lives, especially as we get older. Let's imagine someone named Frank. Frank is 70 years old, living in his own home, and for the most part, he handles his daily routine independently. He's proud that he can still manage his morning walks, prepare his meals, and keep his house in order. Frank knows that staying independent doesn't happen by accident. It's the result of consistent effort to remain physically active, eat well, and keep a positive mindset. Frank's independence is a source of confidence for him, something that enhances his overall quality of life. This sense of independence allows him to make decisions on his own terms, whether it's about how he spends his time or where he wants to live. He feels in control. But let's not forget that maintaining independence isn't just about doing things for ourselves. It's also about staying connected to what makes us feel alive. Regular exercise, for instance, isn't just about keeping fit. It's about preserving the muscle strength, flexibility, and balance that are crucial for preventing falls and keeping our mobility intact. Frank understands this, so he takes walks in his neighborhood and occasionally joins a local swimming group. These activities don't just help him stay fit. They connect him to his community, give him a sense of purpose, and remind him that age is no barrier to staying active. When we talk about staying active, it's important to remember that different people enjoy different activities. For some, it might be brisk walking or swimming like Frank. For others, it could be dancing, yoga, or even gardening. The key is finding something that keeps us moving, because regular physical activity is a cornerstone of maintaining independence. It keeps our bodies in motion and our spirits high. It's not about pushing ourselves to the limit. It's about being consistent and understanding that even moderate exercise can make a world of difference. Now, Frank is also careful about what he eats. He knows that a healthy diet is just as important as exercise when it comes to maintaining his independence. Frank's meals are packed with whole foods, fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and whole grains. He avoids processed foods and sugary drinks because he knows these can lead to chronic diseases, something he's determined to avoid. His diet fuels his body with the nutrients it needs, and as a result, Frank feels energized, resilient, and capable of leading an active life. Diet, much like exercise, is about balance. It's about giving our bodies the right nutrients to support our immune system, reduce inflammation, and prevent diseases like diabetes or heart conditions. When we fuel our bodies with wholesome foods, we're not just feeding our physical needs, we're nourishing our mental well-being as well. Frank's clear-headedness, his energy, and his ability to engage in activities he enjoys are all linked to the choices he makes in the kitchen. We should also consider the emotional impact of staying independent. For Frank, being able to manage his life without much assistance gives him a sense of pride and dignity. He values his autonomy, and it gives him peace of mind knowing that he's not overly reliant on others. This emotional strength is something we can all cultivate as we age. It's a quiet confidence that comes from knowing we can take care of ourselves, which in turn enhances our relationships with others. However, independence doesn't mean isolation. Frank is careful not to cut himself off from the world. He stays connected with friends, joins social activities, and engages in meaningful conversations. These interactions keep his mind sharp and provide him with a sense of belonging. The social aspect of independence is often overlooked, but it's incredibly important. Maintaining relationships, engaging with others, and staying mentally stimulated are all crucial for our well-being as we age. Let's not forget that mental independence is just as critical as physical independence. Frank reads daily, does puzzles, and keeps up with current events. These activities help him maintain his cognitive abilities, which in turn supports his overall independence. By challenging his mind, Frank stays sharp and engaged, which prevents cognitive decline and keeps his mental faculties strong. We can learn a lot from Frank's example. His independence didn't come about by chance. It was built on a foundation of regular physical activity, a balanced diet, and a commitment to mental and social engagement. Frank's life shows us that maintaining independence is a holistic process. It's not just about whether we can perform tasks by ourselves, but about how we nurture our bodies, minds, and relationships. As we age, there may be times when we need assistance, and that's perfectly okay. Independence doesn't mean never asking for help. It means having the strength and confidence to know when to rely on others and when to push ourselves. Frank's story reminds us that staying independent is about making choices every day that support our well-being and ensure we remain in control of our lives for as long as possible. Number 2, mental sharpness. The second lesson we want to share with you is how essential it is to stay mentally sharp, and this isn't something we should ever take for granted. It's not just about keeping your brain busy, but about deliberately nurturing a lifestyle where your mind is constantly stimulated and engaged in meaningful ways. In today's fast-paced world, our brains are often bombarded with information, but that doesn't always translate to true mental stimulation. What we really need is intentional engagement, activities that push our mental boundaries and keep our cognitive abilities strong and adaptable. Think of someone like Maria. She's in her 50s and has made it her mission to keep her mind as active as possible. For her, reading is a key part of staying mentally sharp. But she doesn't just skim through novels for entertainment. She dives into books that challenge her thinking, expand her understanding, and introduce her to new perspectives. Every new book she reads is an opportunity to connect the dots between what she already knows and what she's learning. This approach not only broadens her knowledge, but also strengthens her ability to think critically and analytically. And it's this kind of deliberate engagement with information that keeps our minds agile. One of the best ways to sharpen the mind is through cognitive challenges like puzzles or games that require strategic thinking. This isn't just about fun. It's about actively working parts of the brain that help improve focus, concentration, and problem solving. Maria, for example, enjoys solving Sudoku puzzles and crossword puzzles, but it's not always easy for her. At first, they frustrated her, but over time, she began to appreciate how these mental exercises taught her to think in unconventional ways. Every puzzle became a small mental workout, building her cognitive endurance and keeping her brain in top shape. Another fantastic way to keep the mind sharp is by learning a new language. This is a challenge that requires patience, discipline, and a lot of practice, but the benefits are enormous. When we engage in language learning, we're forcing our brains to make new connections, remember new words, and process information differently. Maria took on the challenge of learning Italian a few years ago. Initially, she struggled with the grammar and vocabulary, but as time passed, she noticed her memory improving and her ability to think more flexibly. This wasn't just about mastering a new language. It was about keeping her brain nimble and adaptable. Being curious is another critical aspect of staying mentally sharp. When we nurture our curiosity, we naturally seek out new experiences, knowledge, and perspectives. Curiosity opens the door to endless possibilities for growth and learning. Maria, for instance, has always been curious about science, so she started watching documentaries and reading articles on topics she had never explored before. This didn't just satisfy her curiosity. It kept her mind active, alert, and always ready to learn more. Curiosity is what drives us to explore the world with fresh eyes and prevents our minds from becoming stagnant. Lifelong learning is perhaps one of the most rewarding ways to maintain mental sharpness. This doesn't mean formal education alone. It's about constantly seeking new skills, new areas of interest, and new ways to expand our horizons. Maria knew she couldn't rely solely on what she learned in school, so she enrolled in online courses to learn photography, graphic design, and even cooking techniques. These new skills weren't just hobbies. They were ways for her to stretch her brain, to challenge her existing knowledge, and to step into the unknown, where real mental growth happens. When we face challenges in life, the way we approach them can either sharpen our minds or dull our spirits. A problem-solving mindset is crucial to mental sharpness. Instead of seeing challenges as roadblocks, we can view them as opportunities to grow. Maria faced a tough situation when her workplace downsized, and she was left to pick up new responsibilities that were outside her comfort zone. Rather than feeling defeated, she saw this as a chance to learn and grow. By breaking down the tasks, finding creative solutions, and leaning on her resourcefulness, she didn't just overcome the challenge. She became more resilient, more confident, and better prepared for the next obstacle life threw her way. Travel is often an overlooked tool for mental sharpness, but it can be a game changer. When we travel, we immerse ourselves in new environments, cultures, and experiences that force our minds to adapt and process unfamiliar stimuli. Maria has always been a traveler at heart, but she doesn't just go for the sake of relaxation. She travels to learn, to experience new ways of living, and to see the world through different lenses. Whether she's navigating a foreign city or trying to communicate in another language, her brain is constantly at work, making new connections and learning from each moment. Travel pushes us out of our comfort zones and into spaces where our minds have to stay alert and engaged. Pushing ourselves outside of our comfort zones is another vital way to stay mentally sharp. It's easy to fall into routines that feel safe and familiar, but growth happens when we stretch beyond those boundaries. Maria found herself in this situation when she was asked to mentor a group of young professionals. At first, she was hesitant. After all, she wasn't sure she had the right skills to guide others. But as she stepped into this new role, she realized how much it pushed her to think in new ways, to communicate more effectively, and to see problems from a different perspective. This constant stretch kept her mind agile and prepared her for the unknown. Just as important as mental exercises are the people we surround ourselves with. Engaging in thoughtful, stimulating conversations with others can sharpen our minds in ways we might not expect. Maria makes it a priority to spend time with friends who challenge her intellectually. They discuss books, debate ideas, and share different perspectives that force her to think critically and question her own assumptions. These conversations are not just social interactions. They're mental workouts that help keep her mind sharp, adaptable, and open to new ideas. Maintaining mental sharpness isn't something that happens by accident. It's a conscious decision we make every day. Maria understood this early on, and it's why she's committed to filling her days with activities that stimulate her mind, whether it's through learning, problem solving, or simply exploring new ideas. The more we challenge ourselves, the more we grow, and the sharper our minds become. It's about staying engaged with the world, continually pushing our boundaries, and always seeking out new opportunities to learn. We also need to remind ourselves that mental sharpness is a process, not a destination. It's something we build over time, and the more we nurture it, the stronger it becomes. Maria didn't become mentally sharp overnight. It was through years of reading, learning, and stepping outside her comfort zone that she developed a mind that is both agile and resilient. This isn't about preventing cognitive decline alone. It's about living a life that is rich with knowledge, curiosity, and creativity. Mental sharpness is about being engaged with life itself. It's about being present, curious, and willing to embrace challenges as opportunities for growth. Maria's journey is just one example. But the truth is, we all have the potential to cultivate mental sharpness if we commit to the process. Number 3, social connections. A tree is known by its fruit. This timeless proverb reminds us that the quality of what we invest in life, whether our work, our relationships, or our character, will always show in the results. When it comes to relationships, what we nurture today shapes the emotional landscape we experience tomorrow. Let us dive deeper into this concept, not as something you simply read about, but as something you genuinely feel and apply to your own life. Because the truth is, when we cultivate meaningful connections with those around us, we are building something far more lasting than we might imagine. An emotional legacy that carries us through every stage of life. Imagine someone like Maria. She's always been a bit of a lone wolf, managing her work and life efficiently. But lately, she's felt a growing void. As she watches others gather with family and friends, she realizes there's something missing. It isn't material success that leaves her feeling unfulfilled. It's the depth of her human connections. Maria represents many of us at different points in life, when the rush of individual success fades and we're left wondering what truly matters. When we talk about relationships, we're not merely referring to fleeting interactions, but the kind of connections that offer emotional support, companionship, and a sense of belonging. Think about it, humans are social creatures. Whether it's your family, close friends, or your community, these connections play a pivotal role in shaping how we experience the world. And the beauty of it is that these relationships don't just happen to us. They require intentional effort and nurturing on our part. Let's return to Maria for a moment. She decided to take small steps to change her situation, starting by reaching out to an old friend. What she found was that even though time had passed, the bond remained, and that simple act of reaching out began to fill the void she had been feeling. From there, Maria started to get more involved in her community, participating in social activities that aligned with her interests. Slowly, a network began to form around her, made up of people who shared her passions and interests. And what did this bring her? Not just new acquaintances, but a renewed sense of belonging and fulfillment. Now, some of us may think, I don't have the time for that, or I'm fine on my own. But let's reflect on this for a moment. What would your life look like if, 10 years from now, you found yourself isolated? Without those meaningful connections, life begins to lose its color. It's in the moments of laughter with friends, or even quiet solidarity during tough times, that we find the richness life has to offer. Maria didn't realize how disconnected she had become until she started participating in her community again. That's when she discovered that these interactions were not just social activities. They were sources of joy, purpose, and meaning. There's also something profound about the act of giving back. Whether through volunteering, mentoring others, or simply being there for someone in need, contributing to the lives of others brings a sense of fulfillment that material success often cannot provide. We thrive on connection, and when we contribute to our communities, we are not only helping others, but we are also enriching our own lives. Think of it this way. When you plant seeds of kindness, generosity, and support, those seeds eventually bloom into strong relationships that sustain you as much as they do others. Take mentoring, for example. Imagine if Maria had never had that mentor who guided her early in her career. Now, years later, she finds herself in a position to give back by mentoring younger professionals. What she discovers is that this experience is not just about teaching others. It's about creating a bond that mutually benefits both parties. The young professionals learn from her, but in turn, she learns from their fresh perspectives and enthusiasm, reminding her of the excitement she once had at their age. It becomes a beautiful cycle of giving and receiving. And it doesn't stop there. These relationships help create a strong foundation, a safety net of emotional support that can carry you through life's inevitable challenges. When life gets tough, and it will, as we all know, these connections will be there to lift you up. And what a difference it makes when you know you're not going through life's challenges alone. The friendships and community you nurture today will provide the companionship and understanding you need when life throws its curveballs. Let's consider Maria one last time. After years of neglecting her relationships, she finds herself surrounded by people who care about her, people who remind her of the value she brings to the world. This doesn't happen by accident. It's the result of her decision to be intentional about nurturing relationships. And in doing so, she didn't just enrich her own life. She inspired kindness and generosity in others. Her actions created a ripple effect that touched more lives than she could have imagined. It's essential to remember that relationships are living things. They require attention, patience, and care. Just as you wouldn't expect a plant to grow without water and sunlight, we can't expect our relationships to flourish without effort. Whether it's making time for loved ones, being present in conversations, or lending a helping hand when needed, these small acts of connection build something bigger than ourselves. So ask yourself, what kind of relationships are you cultivating right now? Are you nurturing connections that will stand the test of time? Or are you letting them wither away, unnoticed? If you feel a distance between you and the people around you, take that first step like Maria did. Reach out, engage, and contribute. You'll find that the emotional wealth you gain from meaningful connections is far more valuable than anything material success can offer. Number 4, financial security. Finance is always a big question for everybody, mostly older individuals who start feeling the weight of their future creeping closer. We all reach that point in life where we look at our financial situation and begin asking ourselves, Am I truly prepared for what's to come? It's not just about having enough to get by. It's about ensuring that as we age, we live comfortably without the constant anxiety of whether our money will last. Financial security becomes the foundation of peace in our later years, and it's something we need to nurture with intention, discipline, and foresight. Let's think of it this way. Imagine Maria, a woman in her late 50s. She has worked diligently her entire life, but now retirement is on the horizon. Maria doesn't want to live a life of limitation. She dreams of traveling, spending time with her grandchildren, and maybe even starting a small passion project. But to make those dreams a reality, her finances need to be in order. Maria isn't alone in this. Many of us find ourselves at a crossroads, realizing that financial decisions made earlier in life directly impact the quality of our later years. One of the most effective ways to secure your financial future is through careful budgeting. We often hear the word budget and associate it with restrictions, but the reality is budgeting gives us freedom. It's about knowing exactly where your money is going, so it works for you, rather than disappearing without a trace. Think about it. If Maria carefully planned how much she needed to set aside each month for her future goals, she wouldn't have to worry about missing out on opportunities. Instead of feeling constrained, she'd feel empowered, knowing that each dollar is a step toward financial independence. Budgeting also helps us avoid the pitfalls of debt. Debt, as we all know, is a burden that grows heavier with time. If not managed properly, it can quickly spiral out of control, causing immense financial stress. For Maria, managing her debt early on ensured that she didn't have to face overwhelming financial obligations later in life. By taking control of her finances and paying down her debts, she freed herself from the worry of being held back by past mistakes. And that's something we all need to consider. How can we avoid debt in our own lives, or at least minimize its impact? Retirement planning is another critical element that often gets overlooked, but it's one of the key pillars of financial security. Maria began planning for her retirement not just by saving, but by investing in her future. She understood that her income during retirement would need to sustain her for decades. By consulting with financial experts and learning about various retirement accounts, she ensured that her investments were working for her. We should all take a page from Maria's book. Start planning early, diversify your investments, and ensure that you are setting yourself up for long-term stability. When we talk about financial independence, it's not just about having money in the bank. It's about the peace of mind that comes from knowing we're in control of our financial destiny. Maria, having reached financial independence, no longer felt the need to chase after more income. Instead, she focused on living her life according to her values and passions. That's something we all strive for, isn't it? The ability to wake up each day without the pressure of financial insecurity looming over us, free to pursue the things that truly matter. The beauty of financial independence is that it opens doors to opportunities that might otherwise seem out of reach. Maria, for instance, was able to take that long-dreamed-of trip around the world because she had planned for it. She didn't have to worry about running out of money halfway through her journey or sacrificing her quality of life back home. This kind of freedom allows us to fully engage with life, to embrace new experiences, and to live with confidence, knowing that our financial foundation is solid. Financial independence also means that we can retire on our own terms. Too many people are forced to work longer than they'd like simply because they didn't plan ahead. Maria, on the other hand, retired when she felt ready, not because she had to, but because she wanted to. For her, retirement wasn't an end. It was the beginning of a new chapter filled with excitement and possibility. And for all of us, that's the dream. To retire when we feel we've fulfilled our professional obligations and are ready to enjoy life in full. But achieving this level of financial security requires discipline, consistency, and sometimes even sacrifice. Maria didn't reach her goals by chance. She made conscious decisions throughout her life that aligned with her financial plan. Whether it was cutting unnecessary expenses, avoiding impulse purchases, or consistently contributing to her retirement accounts, every small choice she made contributed to the larger picture of financial freedom. And that's something we can all do. Each financial decision we make today has a direct impact on our future security. It's easy to get caught up in the moment and prioritize short-term gratification over long-term planning. But if we follow Maria's example, we see the power of delayed gratification. By holding off on unnecessary luxuries and focusing on what truly matters, her long-term financial well-being, Maria ensured that she would never have to compromise on the things that bring her the most joy in life. This is where financial wisdom comes in, knowing when to say no now, so you can say yes to greater things later. We should also remember that financial security doesn't happen in isolation. It's important to involve trusted financial advisors or family members in our plans. Maria worked with a financial planner who helped her navigate the complexities of retirement savings, investments, and tax strategies. We can all benefit from seeking out expert advice to make sure we're maximizing our financial potential. There's no shame in asking for help. In fact, it's one of the smartest moves we can make when it comes to securing our future. Financial security also brings emotional and mental peace. We often underestimate how much financial stress can affect our overall well-being. When Maria was confident in her financial situation, she noticed a significant decrease in her anxiety levels. She slept better, felt more energized, and had the mental clarity to focus on her passions and relationships. When we take control of our finances, we're not just ensuring a secure future, we're also improving our present quality of life. Number 5, emotional well-being. After every storm comes a calm. This saying resonates deeply, doesn't it? It's a reminder that no matter how turbulent life gets, there's always a period of peace that follows. But what's more significant is the mindset we adopt during those storms. The ability to maintain a positive outlook on life plays a crucial role in shaping our emotional state. We're not talking about ignoring difficulties or pretending they don't exist. We're talking about the conscious effort to focus on what's good, even when surrounded by chaos. That shift in perspective, choosing to see hope instead of despair, has a profound impact on how we navigate life's challenges. When we face adversity, the easy option is to give in to frustration or anger. We've all been there, haven't we? That moment when things aren't going our way and it feels like the weight of the world is pressing down. But resilience is what defines the difference between sinking under that weight and rising above it. And resilience doesn't mean being unaffected by life's hardships. It's about recognizing those hardships and still moving forward, still believing that there's something to be gained from the struggle. Take a moment to think about someone like Frank, a man who's been through more than his fair share of difficulties. He's a father who works tirelessly, juggling responsibilities at home and in the office. His days are filled with tasks that seem to pile up endlessly, and stress is a constant companion. But despite everything, Frank has made it a habit to find something to appreciate each day. He's learned to look past the chaos and find moments of joy, whether it's in a brief conversation with his children or the satisfaction of completing a project at work. Frank's life could easily be defined by stress and exhaustion, yet he doesn't let it. Why? Because he's cultivated an outlook that focuses on gratitude. It's not that his problems have disappeared, but by directing his attention toward what's good, he lightens the emotional burden he carries. And it's this deliberate focus on the positives that enables him to keep going, even when life feels overwhelming. It's a choice he makes, just like we can make, one that strengthens his emotional resilience. We're not suggesting that staying positive means ignoring the negative emotions we all experience. In fact, part of being emotionally healthy is acknowledging our feelings, both the good and the bad. But there's something transformative about consciously directing our focus toward the positive. When we shift our mindset from dwelling on what's wrong to appreciating what's right, we begin to experience life in a different light. We become more resilient, more hopeful, and ultimately more equipped to handle life's trials. Let's reflect on Frank once again. Imagine he's going through an especially tough time. His work is demanding, his family life is chaotic, and there's little time for himself. It would be easy for him to feel defeated, wouldn't it? But instead of allowing himself to sink into negativity, Frank finds strength in small victories. He might notice the way his children's laughter fills the house, even on difficult days, or how a colleague offers unexpected support. These small moments, though seemingly insignificant, become his source of strength. They're the silver linings that allow him to push through the tough times. Gratitude, as simple as it may seem, is a powerful tool. When we practice gratitude regularly, we shift our focus from what's lacking in our lives to what we already have. This shift isn't just about counting our blessings, it's about changing our entire outlook. It alters the way we view our circumstances and helps us see the good, even in challenging situations. It's a practice that anyone can adopt, and over time, it becomes second nature. It becomes part of how we approach each day. Another key aspect that helps us maintain emotional well-being is having a sense of purpose. Without a clear sense of purpose, life can feel aimless and unfulfilling. Purpose doesn't necessarily have to be grand or extraordinary. It can be found in everyday activities, whether through our work, our hobbies, or our relationships. For Frank, his purpose comes from knowing that he's providing for his family and being a role model for his children. It's what motivates him to get up each morning and face the challenges of the day. Purpose isn't something we simply stumble upon. It's something we actively seek out and nurture. We make intentional decisions about how we spend our time, where we invest our energy, and what brings us fulfillment. By aligning our lives with our values and passions, we create a sense of direction that guides us through life's ups and downs. It's this sense of purpose that gives us the strength to persevere when things get difficult. It anchors us, reminding us why we do what we do. Over time, resilience and purpose work together to create a solid foundation for emotional health. Resilience gives us the strength to withstand life's storms, while purpose gives us the motivation to keep moving forward. Neither is developed overnight. It takes time, effort, and practice. But as we continue to choose gratitude, focus on the positive, and invest in a life of meaning, we become more capable of facing whatever challenges come our way. It's also worth noting that the small actions we take every day, those seemingly insignificant choices, can have a profound impact on our emotional well-being. Just as Frank finds joy in the little things, we can do the same. Whether it's taking a few minutes to reflect on what we're thankful for, or simply noticing the beauty around us, these small actions add up. They create a habit of positivity, one that can sustain us through even the most difficult times. When we adopt a positive outlook, we don't just improve our own lives, we influence the lives of those around us. Frank's children, for example, see how he handles stress with grace and find joy in the simple moments. He's teaching them, through his actions, the value of resilience and gratitude. And in doing so, he's passing on a legacy of emotional strength to the next generation. It's not always the easiest choice, but it's one that pays dividends in the long run. By choosing to focus on the good, cultivating gratitude, and living with purpose, we not only protect our emotional well-being, but also create a life that's filled with meaning and fulfillment. So, when life's storms hit, remember that they too will pass. The clouds will clear, and in their wake, you'll find moments of calm, peace, and even joy. By practicing resilience, finding purpose, and appreciating the small blessings that surround you, you can navigate life's challenges with strength and grace. Number 6, spiritual growth. Something we often overlook when we think about personal growth, both spiritually and emotionally, is how much a positive outlook and resilience shape the journey. Imagine this. Every day presents challenges, small inconveniences, and unexpected twists. But what if, instead of focusing on the obstacles, we shifted our attention to the blessings, the joys, and the small moments that make us smile? This change in perspective isn't just about putting on a happy face. It's about nurturing an optimistic mindset that builds our resilience, the kind that helps us rise after every fall and strengthens us for life's inevitable ups and downs. Let's take Maria as an example. Maria wakes up each morning and has the choice to either dwell on her busy schedule or appreciate the calm in her first cup of coffee, the warmth of the sun filtering through her kitchen window. By focusing on that simple moment, she sets the tone for her day. Each small joy adds up. It's not that her problems disappear. Work challenges still come, conflicts still arise, but her focus on the positive helps her navigate these with more grace. Her resilience grows because she trains her mind to not be consumed by setbacks, but to see each one as part of a bigger picture where blessings and challenges coexist. Resilience, as we're discussing it, is more than just bouncing back from hardship. It's about facing life with a mindset that says, I can find something good here. And when we do this consistently, it has a profound impact on our spiritual growth. Our ability to see beauty and value, even in difficult circumstances, deepens our sense of gratitude and connection to the world around us. This is how spiritual growth happens, not in the absence of hardship, but in our response to it. Now, consider the idea of purpose. Just as resilience builds our strength, our sense of purpose gives us direction. Have you ever noticed how people who feel they have a clear purpose in life seem more grounded? Their purpose might be found in their career, in a hobby, or in the way they contribute to the lives of others. Purpose anchors us, giving our lives meaning even in moments of uncertainty. It's what gets us up in the morning with a sense of anticipation, knowing that what we do matters. Maria, for instance, finds purpose in mentoring younger colleagues at her job. It's not something she has to do. It's something she loves to do because it aligns with her values. This purpose makes even the stressful parts of her work feel meaningful. It enriches her life by providing her with a deeper sense of satisfaction, knowing that she's contributing to something larger than herself. Purpose, in this way, acts as a compass. It keeps us on track when distractions or difficulties threaten to pull us off course. But here's where the magic really happens. When our positive outlook, resilience, and sense of purpose intertwine, they create a powerful force for spiritual growth. Life's highs and lows don't seem so extreme anymore because we have these internal resources to draw from. And the more we focus on what's good, the more good we see, reinforcing our resilience and deepening our sense of purpose. It's a cycle that lifts us higher with each turn. Let's revisit Maria. On particularly challenging days, she leans into her sense of purpose. She remembers why she's doing what she does, and that purpose fuels her resilience. When a project falls through, instead of becoming discouraged, she looks at what she can learn from the situation. This isn't about denying frustration or stress. It's about acknowledging those feelings, but not letting them define her experience. Her positive outlook allows her to move forward, and with each step, her spiritual growth deepens. In your own life, Think about how often we can get caught up in the idea that growth only happens in moments of peace or clarity. But the truth is, growth is often most profound in the middle of struggle. It's in those moments when you choose to focus on the small blessings, the glimmers of hope, that your resilience is being strengthened. And the more you do this, the more natural it becomes to face challenges with grace and strength. We can also look at how resilience and purpose work together in our relationships. When we have a deep sense of purpose, especially one that involves contributing to the well-being of others, it becomes easier to approach conflict with a mindset of growth rather than frustration. Maria, for example, sees her relationships as opportunities to grow spiritually. When she encounters conflict with a friend, she chooses to focus on what the relationship means to her overall, rather than the temporary discomfort of disagreement. This focus not only strengthens her bond with others, but also enriches her sense of connection to the world around her. As you grow in your ability to appreciate life's joys, you'll notice something subtle but profound happening. The world begins to feel more connected. The small moments of happiness, the sense of purpose in your daily actions. These aren't isolated experiences. They're threads that weave together a larger tapestry of meaning. And in this tapestry, everything matters. The challenges, the joys, the quiet moments of reflection. Over time, you'll find that your resilience not only helps you handle life's ups and downs, but also transforms how you experience those moments. What once felt overwhelming may now feel like an opportunity for deeper reflection and growth. Your sense of purpose will keep you grounded, even when life feels chaotic. It gives you a reason to keep going, a reason to stay connected to the world and to those around you. We often think that purpose and resilience are things we either have or don't. But the truth is, they are cultivated through daily practice. Every time you choose to focus on the good, to see a challenge as an opportunity, you're building resilience. Every time you act in alignment with your values and contribute to something larger than yourself, you're deepening your sense of purpose. Number 7, continuous learning. Not only young people have to learn to adapt to new environments, but older individuals also face this challenge as they grow older. We often assume that adaptability is something only required in youth when, in fact, it becomes even more vital as we age. Life constantly presents us with new situations, unfamiliar technologies, and evolving social landscapes. Navigating these changes successfully requires a willingness to embrace new ways of thinking and acting, no matter our age. Adaptability is not just a youthful skill. It's a lifelong necessity that allows us to remain flexible, confident, and engaged in an ever-changing world. Picture someone like Maria, a woman in her early 60s. She spent decades working in an office where face-to-face communication and manual processes were the norm. But when her company transitioned to remote work, Maria found herself struggling with the new technology. Instead of giving in to frustration or resisting the shift, Maria chose to enroll in online classes to improve her digital literacy. It wasn't easy for her at first, but as she learned, she grew more confident. Her ability to adapt didn't just allow her to keep her job. It also reinvigorated her sense of self, proving to herself that growth is possible at any stage of life. Adaptability is about more than just learning new skills. It's about adjusting our mindset. As we age, we can become set in our ways, but staying open to change keeps us mentally agile and emotionally resilient. When we approach challenges as opportunities rather than obstacles, we create a foundation for ongoing personal development. Maria's story illustrates this perfectly. By embracing the unfamiliar, she unlocked new possibilities, not only professionally, but also personally. It's a reminder that the ability to adapt is a form of strength, one that enables us to face life's uncertainties with grace. In fact, what we often overlook is that adaptability leads to a richer, more fulfilling life. The moment we decide to resist the fear of change, we allow ourselves to experience new things. Life is never static, it's constantly evolving, and those who adapt are the ones who thrive. A growth-oriented mindset encourages curiosity, pushing us to seek out experiences that enhance both our intellectual and emotional lives. When we keep learning, we don't just grow smarter, we grow more engaged, more connected to the world around us, and more in tune with ourselves. Of course, this process requires courage. Adaptability isn't always easy, especially when we feel the weight of past habits or beliefs holding us back. But here's the thing, the discomfort of change is temporary. The rewards, however, are lasting. Maria felt this firsthand. Initially, learning new technology was intimidating, but the satisfaction she gained from mastering something new gave her a renewed sense of purpose. She became more confident, more adaptable in other areas of her life, and more willing to embrace whatever challenges came her way. What drives us to adapt isn't just the need to survive, it's the desire to keep growing. And this growth, in turn, fosters resilience. When we willingly step outside of our comfort zones, we build the emotional muscle necessary to handle future challenges. Whether it's navigating the complexities of a changing workplace or adjusting to the evolving dynamics in relationships, adaptability equips us with the tools to not just endure change, but to flourish within it. And it's not just about big life changes. Sometimes it's the small, daily adjustments that keep us flexible and grounded. For example, let's think about how adaptability impacts our relationships. As we age, our social circles shift, friends move away, family dynamics evolve, and new relationships come into play. Staying adaptable allows us to maintain meaningful connections with the people we care about, even as circumstances change. It's not about clinging to the past or resisting new realities. It's about finding ways to nurture those relationships in new contexts. Just as Maria adapted to new technology at work, she also found herself learning new ways to connect with her grandchildren, who lived in different cities. By embracing video calls and social media, she remained a vital part of their lives, proving once again that adaptability strengthens our bonds with others. This flexibility also extends to how we view ourselves. We can either see change as a threat to our identity or as an opportunity to evolve. Maria's journey taught her that she wasn't just someone who had to keep up with technology. She was someone capable of continuous growth. She didn't let her age define what she could or couldn't do. This mindset shift is crucial. When we allow ourselves to be open to new experiences, we discover that our potential is far greater than we might have imagined. Adaptability also fosters resilience in the face of adversity. Life will always throw curveballs our way, whether it's unexpected health challenges, job changes, or shifts in family dynamics. The more adaptable we are, the better equipped we are to handle these obstacles. We don't crumble under the weight of uncertainty. Instead, we rise to the occasion, using each challenge as a stepping stone to personal growth. Maria faced several setbacks in her learning journey, but her adaptability kept her moving forward, one step at a time. She realized that it wasn't about mastering everything at once, but about consistently showing up and being willing to learn. It teaches us to embrace uncertainty. Instead of fearing the unknown, we start to see it as an integral part of life's adventure. We become more comfortable with ambiguity, more willing to let go of rigid expectations, and more open to the endless possibilities that come with change. Adaptability becomes a mindset that shapes how we approach everything, from the way we work to how we handle our emotions and relationships. Adaptability in later life is a reminder that growth doesn't have an expiration date. There's no age limit on curiosity, learning, or personal development. In fact, the older we get, the more life experiences we bring to the table, allowing us to approach new challenges with wisdom and perspective. Maria's story shows us that even in her 60s, she was able to learn and thrive in an entirely new environment, proving that adaptability is not just for the young. It's a lifelong skill. Number 8, sense of humor. Finally, let us ask you this. Have you ever noticed how a simple laugh can change the entire mood of a room? That moment when tension dissolves, and even the most difficult situations seem just a little bit lighter. Now, imagine what it would feel like if we carried that sense of humor with us every day, using it as a tool to navigate life's inevitable challenges. It's not just about cracking jokes or finding things funny. It's about cultivating a playful, lighthearted attitude that transforms how we experience life and how others experience us. Think about a time when you were overwhelmed by stress or frustration. Maybe you were running late to an important meeting and everything seemed to go wrong. The traffic was terrible, and when you finally arrived, you realized you left your notes at home. In that moment, panic probably took over. But what if, instead, we learned to laugh at the situation? What if we looked at the absurdity of it all and allowed ourselves to chuckle at the universe's sense of timing? Suddenly, that stress loses its grip and we become more resourceful, more resilient. This is the beauty of humor. It allows us to face challenges with a lighter heart. It doesn't erase the problem, but it shifts our perspective. When we take ourselves and our circumstances too seriously, we often get trapped in negative emotions like frustration, anger, or anxiety. But humor helps us step back. It's like standing outside of ourselves and seeing the situation for what it truly is: temporary, sometimes even ridiculous. By doing so, we find that we can move through it with more ease. Let's consider an example. There's a story about a man named Frank, who was known for his sharp wit and his ability to lighten the mood no matter the situation. One day, Frank lost his job unexpectedly. Naturally, he was upset, but instead of letting the disappointment consume him, Frank chose to laugh about it. "Well," he said to his wife, "it looks like the universe decided I needed a vacation, and I didn't even have to ask for one." His lighthearted approach didn't change the fact that he was out of work, but it did change how he felt about it. He was able to tackle his next steps with a sense of optimism and determination that others in his situation might have struggled to find. This sense of humor that Frank embraced wasn't just a coping mechanism. It was a way of life. By maintaining a playful attitude, Frank was able to diffuse stress not only for himself, but also for those around him. His wife felt more at ease, his friends admired his resilience, and even in job interviews, his positive attitude made him stand out. Humor became his strength, a tool that turned potential despair into opportunity. Now, what about us? How often do we allow humor into our lives, especially when things go wrong? Many people feel that humor is reserved for good times, but the truth is, it's during the tough times that we need it most. Humor doesn't mean we're ignoring the seriousness of a situation. It means we're refusing to let it overwhelm us. It means we're choosing positivity, even in moments where it feels like everything is falling apart. This is where humor becomes not just a source of joy, but a tool for resilience. It builds our mental and emotional toughness. Just like how athletes train their bodies to endure physical challenges, we can train our minds to handle emotional and psychological stress. Laughter, in its simplicity, is one of the most powerful ways to do this. It reminds us that we are not defined by our struggles. We are defined by how we rise above them. And let's not forget the ripple effect this has on others. When we carry a sense of humor into our daily interactions, We create an uplifting environment not only for ourselves but for those around us. Have you ever been in a room where someone's laughter was contagious? That lightness spreads and suddenly, everyone feels a little bit better, a little more connected. Humor brings people together. It builds bridges where tension once stood. Imagine, for a moment, walking into a stressful situation with a lighthearted mindset. Maybe it's a difficult conversation with a loved one or a high-pressure presentation at work. If we approach it with a sense of humor, we're not dismissing the importance of the moment, but we are inviting ease into it. We're showing others that we can handle the pressure without letting it crush us. And often, that confidence is what sets the tone for success. In relationships, this is especially important. A sense of humor can defuse arguments, ease misunderstandings, and bring joy into even the most mundane moments. When we laugh with someone, we create shared experiences that strengthen our bonds. We remind each other that no matter how serious life gets, we still have the capacity for joy. Of course, we should never confuse humor with avoidance. We're not suggesting that we laugh off every challenge or use humor to escape difficult emotions. Rather, we're advocating for a balance, a recognition that while life can be heavy, we have the choice to lighten it. Humor is that spark that keeps us from sinking too deep into negativity. It's what keeps us hopeful and optimistic, even when things seem uncertain. As we come to the end of this video, we hope you're feeling inspired and equipped with the knowledge to embrace these 8 essential habits that can transform your life, no matter your age. Remember, it's never too late to start building a healthier, more fulfilling future, filled with purpose, joy, and vitality. The steps we've discussed can truly pave the way for a vibrant, resilient life well into your later years. We'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts, experiences, and stories in the comments below. Have you already adopted some of these habits? How have they impacted your life? Or, if you're just beginning, let us know which habit you're most excited to try. Your journey and insights could inspire others in our community. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and share it with others who might benefit from these tips. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell, so you never miss out on more valuable content that can help you live your best life at every stage. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.